Take yourself out of the box. In order for a plant to grow, it needs light and it needs oxygen. If a plant is put inside of a dark box where there's no air getting in and it's suffocating, there is no room to grow. Royal Tribe, what is good, my people? What is good, my family? What is good, kings and queens? Thank you guys so much for tuning into this podcast. And before I even get into the message, I just really have to show appreciation and gratitude. It means so much to me, the support and the love that you all have been showing me, telling me how much this platform has really helped you guys and helped you evolve and really motivated you and inspired you to want to do better and to want to be better, and how it's really helped you guys to get through certain things in your life. And that's what it's all about. So there's nothing better than that feeling, to know that it's helping at least one person, man. This is only the beginning. I'm only going to get bigger. I'm only going to get better. And I'm only going to get stronger and more wiser. So thank you guys for supporting me and for loving me and accepting me for who I am right now. Although I haven't been as consistent, I do plan to get consistent. That is the main goal, to consistently be putting out knowledge and putting out content for you guys. And it will happen. That's the ultimate goal. So continue to be patient with me, continue to love me, continue to give me feedback, continue to show love, and I'm gonna do the same, I promise you. I want to talk to you guys about why is it so hard for people to do the inner work? Why aren't many people trying to do the inner work? I believe people want to do the work, but because of the process and what it takes, a lot of people just rather stay in their own ways and to stay comfortable with what they're used to doing, even though that place of comfortability isn't benefiting them. In order to evolve, in order to change, in order to do the inner work, you have to face yourself, number one. And for anyone that has faced their self, no, it's not easy. It's not easy at all. You have to face it in order to fix it. It's hard to look in the mirror and to see the flaws. It's hard to look at yourself and see the trauma and to deal with the rejection and the abandonment and to look at the ways that you've caused harm in your own life because you did what was convenient versus doing what was best for yourself. A lot of people just rather continue to live life the way they've been living it versus putting in the work and really going against that resistance, because it gets tiring, it gets dark, it gets lonely, and there's even a sense of fear that may come at times because of all these different emotions and how overwhelming it can be to face yourself and really doctor yourself and take out everything that no longer is serve you, and to remove everyone that no longer is really there for you, and to really change behaviors that you haven't really changed before, that you don't really know how to change. The best way for development to take place is through two things: commitment and consistency. You have to be committed in order to fix it. You have to be committed in order to live a better life. And you have to stay consistent in order to see results. We live in such a microwavable world. Everything is fast and quick and in a hurry. And if it doesn't happen fast, if the transition doesn't happen fast, we don't want to do it. After 2 weeks of working out, oh, I haven't lost 30 pounds yet. Oh, I don't want to do this anymore. This is taking too long. I got to put in too much effort. And that's why it's so important to fall in love with the process versus falling in love with the product of the process. You have to embrace where you are at every moment in your journey, regardless if you're losing weight or if you're trying to mentally challenge yourself and correct behaviors. You have to stay consistent. You have to stay committed, because there are going to be times where you don't see any results. There are going to be times where it seems like there's nothing changing. Sometimes it may feel like things are getting worse. I'm telling you, because I've been there. But because of what I've been through and what I've been going through, I am on this platform today talking to you guys. A year ago, this probably would not have happened. You have to fall in love with the process. There are going to be times where it's going to get ugly, and you're going to have to roll up your sleeves, and you're going to have to put on your armor on. You're going to have to put on your war clothes on. I'm telling you guys. But it is worth the fight. Continue to fight and to go against the resistance, regardless of how long you have to do it, regardless of how strong it is. The more times you go against it, the more time you hit against it, the closer you are to your breakthrough. But if you give up, the breakthrough cannot take place. You have to get uncomfortable. You have to face it in order to fix it. And the only way to do that is to become comfortable with who you are right now and to understand where you are right now. You have to know the beginning and the root of it in order to create the end results that you want to. You can't just create a plant and not give it the right nourishment, not give it the right environment that it needs to be in, and expect for it to grow. Sometimes you may have to dig it up and you may have to place it somewhere else. And there are some people, you need to put yourself around new people. You need to put yourself in new environments. You need to move away from home and go into to live in a new area, even if it's just for a few months or a year. Some people just need to remove yourself from where you are. You're not growing. I don't know who this is for. Nothing is changing. And it's your job as the author of your life to figure out why things are not changing in your life. To figure out what those triggers are. When someone tries to show concern, it is your responsibility to face it and at least look in yourself in the mirror and really dig deep and see what is causing those triggers. Why some people are so quick to argue, why some people are so quick to fight, why are some people so quick to pull up a gun and to shoot, why are some people so quickly moved to anger, why are some people so quick to move on from one relationship to the next relationship, why are some people so quick to go back to what they're used to when a hard time comes in life, because they want to numb it. They don't want to deal with it. And I'm telling you now, long as you continue to hide the things that are causing you to stay stagnant in your life, you cannot heal it. Okay? You cannot hide yourself and heal yourself at the same time. And you have to allow it to come to the surface. And the only way you can allow yourself is to become comfortable and to embrace those flaws, embrace those traumas, embrace whatever it is that's causing for you to fight against growth. Us as humans are purposed to grow. Everything on this earth that is living is purposed to grow. Why does trees, why does plants, why do animals grow? But humans, we're the only creation that can prevent and hinder growth for ourselves. We may grow in age, we may grow in weight and physicality. Why are we the ones that mentally are preventing growth in our own lives? A lot of people don't want to put in the effort because it's not easy. It takes too much. I don't feel like crying. I don't feel like talking about my past. I don't feel like doing all that emotional and my feelings stuff. I don't feel like allowing someone to tell me about myself. I've learned over the years, a lot of people just want to vent. They don't want a solution. They don't want to fix it. They just want to vent and to have someone to listen to them and agree with what's being said. Take yourself out of the box. In order for a plant to grow, it needs light and it needs oxygen. If a plant is put inside of a dark box where there's no air getting in and it's suffocating, there is no room to grow. And we do that a lot in our mind because we're so used to the way we think. But you have to humble yourself. And you have to stay open-minded. If you're not open-minded, there's no space for to grow. You have to be open-minded in order to grow. And I know it's hard because you've been taught something your entire life and you've seen certain patterns in your entire life. So you're going based off of the patterns that you've seen in your life. But just because every man that you've dealt with isn't no good, don't mean that there are no good men. Just because every policeman that you've dealt with wasn't no good doesn't mean that there's no policeman that isn't good. Just because you've seen the sun come up every single day doesn't mean the sun has to always come up. At some point, patterns can change and you have to stay open-minded so that things can change and do what it needs to do. But it can't happen unless you're open-minded and you're receptive. Our mind is always so ahead of our reality. When you date someone, you're already thinking years ahead. When you're in a certain situation in your life, we've been doing it since we were kids. I know definitely for me, as a little kid, I've always seen myself on a platform in front of thousands and thousands and thousands of people. I never knew what I was doing. I never knew if I was singing, if I was speaking. I've always had no earthly idea what I'll be doing. But as a little kid, I've always seen myself on a stage in front of so many people. I'm sure some of you guys, you've had visions. You've had moments when you've been daydreaming and you've seen things about your life. So why not take the steps to walk in that? I know it's hard when you're dealing with anxiety your whole life and it's never been corrected and no one was able to communicate what was going on. A lot of us, we didn't even realize the traumas and the things that we've been dealing with until we got older and we had to get in the real world for ourselves and to learn these things. Our parents didn't teach us. Our family members didn't teach us. All the older people that was in our life, no one taught us how to communicate. No one taught us how to deal with our traumas. No one taught us how to love ourselves and to be compassionate with ourselves. And to understand we're all human. Not many people probably had parents that apologized when they did something wrong or when they should have handled something a different way. We've had to learn these things on our own for ourselves. With our mind being so ahead of our current reality, we have to make sure the right things are going on in our mind. This brain up here, this head of yours, the thoughts up here, that's your gateway to your future. And if you already made up in your mind you have nothing to live for, what type of life do you expect to live? When you've already made up in your mind that you're nothing, what type of life do you expect to attract? When you've already made up in your mind that no one cares about you and no one will be able to love you, what type of life do you expect to create for yourself? I know it's hard because you've seen these patterns. Constantly being cheated on, constantly being abandoned, constantly being rejected by people, constantly being made fun of, bullied, constantly being abused. I know it's hard to constantly go through that your entire life and to have hope and to some way find hope that it's not going to always be like that. But I'm your reminder today. You are capable of love. And you are capable of giving love. Let's do the work so you can create the life that you want for yourself. I know it isn't easy. That's why so many people not doing it. But what is the point in staying stuck where you are and to see this person that you may cross path with or to see on TV or whatever the case may be, and to see how far they've grown and just flourished? How would it feel to know that that could also be you and that you could be in that number? That's the point of this platform. That's the point of this podcast, is to, one, show you guys that it's possible, and to also give you guys the steps to make it possible for yourself. If you are ready to do the work, if you are ready to figure out what traumas subconsciously are impacting your life in a negative way that you're not currently aware of and you want to become aware of them, go to my shadow work video. Watch that video. I'm going to put it at the end of this video. And I want you guys, the ones that are serious, I want you guys to begin to apply these things in your life. If you have any questions, hit me on my social media, DM me or email me, and I will get back with you guys in order to begin this process to a better life. You're starting now. You're starting now because you're taking that time to listen. You're not just hearing what I'm saying, you're listening. And that lets me know that you're ready to take this step. And as your coach, as your friend, as your family, I encourage you to go for it. And I want to assure you that you are not alone. That is the purpose of the Royal Tribe. That's what we are here for. Growth is painful. Being molded and being shaped into something new is painful, but it's worth it. It may not feel good in that moment, but it's worth it. So let's put ourselves in different environments. Let's go explore different cultures. Get yourself around diversity. Be exposed to something new, because until you're exposed to something new, you don't know your options and what's really possible. So many people get so comfortable where they are. Oh, I'm comfortable with what I'm making. I'm comfortable with my house. I'm comfortable with where I am. But imagine having 3 or 4 close people that had so much more than what you are comfortable with. Do you think you would still be comfortable with it as that 3rd, 4th, or that 5th person in this close group of people? Oh, if my family, if my best friends got it, if my business partners got it, if my colleagues got it, if my mentors got it, I'm going to get it too, because I deserve it. Why be comfortable with a dozen of roses when you can have the whole garden? Get uncomfortable, roll your sleeves up, get in the booth, get on the field, and go to war. I need you to want it as bad as I want it for you. I'm putting in the work. And for a lot of people that, whether you know me personally or you've just learned about me on social media, I'm sure a lot of you have seen the growth. You guys see how I've came out of my shell. And this would have not been possible without growing through the process. Not going through the process, growing through the process. Constantly, every day, having to challenge your thoughts in the midst of a storm and to stay anchored down and say, things has to get better. They will get better. It may be months later. Oh, I feel this. It may be months later. But consistently having to wake up, staying committed to God's promise for your life, staying consistent with putting up a fight. Things have to get better. They will get better. They are already better. But we first got to deal with this gateway, right? We got to deal with these thoughts. Whatever's in your head is in your heart. And what's in your heart will be executed through your hands. And by that, I mean whatever's in your heart becomes your thoughts. And whatever it is that begins to dwell in your heart, hurt, anger, rejection, love, compassion, unity. Whatever dwells in your heart will be executed through your hands. And by that, I mean your thoughts will become your feelings, and your feelings will become your actions. Therapists are able to listen and to see the behaviors of people and are able to analyze things and see things that you may not be able to see because they're so close to you. They're intimate. They're right there. They've always been right there. So now you become blinded to them. And that's why you need someone with good judgment to walk with you through this process. But at times there may be nobody to listen. But you still can't give up. You still got to keep going because we're falling in love with the process. We're falling in love with the transformation, and we're finding meaning in what is happening because it's not just happening to happen. It's happening for a reason. And you as the author, it's your job to figure out that reason of what's happening and why it's happening, whether it's a result of your actions or somebody else's actions. And you allowed it to affect you. You have to see it in order to feel it. You got to be able to visualize it. You got to put yourself in that place. How do you attract what you want to attract? How do you manifest the things that you want to manifest? You have to feel it. You got to see it before it's even there. And that's when faith comes in. You have to surround yourself constantly. Every day, we are challenged by the world and by people that do not know how to ground their emotions. There's so much hurt and pain in this world, and the only way people know how to release it is to put it onto another person. And it's only going to cause those emotions to expand. And for more people to get hurt, and for more people to have trust issues, and for more people to be angry, and for more people ready to kill and to harm another person or their self. We got to stay grounded, ladies and gentlemen. We got to learn to release these feelings and these emotions in a positive way and to not transfer that energy into another being. There are only two options. Either you will evolve or you will repeat. So if you're seeing certain patterns in your life, in your relationships, in your friendships, people, family, parents, if you're seeing certain patterns in certain areas of your life and you are seeking change, either you will evolve, you will deal with it, you will face it so that you can fix it, or you're not going to fix it and you'll continue to repeat where you are. And that's why I see so many adults, 50 and 60 years old, who are not mentally evolved. I believe that it's been proven. People mentally get stuck at the age that they've had their trauma. So even though you may be 30, 40, or however 20 years old, whatever age that trauma took place is the age mentally you are stuck at. The only way to begin to evolve again is to grow and deal with those issues. There's no other way around it. That's the only way. This is only a one-way street. So either you're going to turn back around and hit a head-on collision, or you're going to keep going forward. I know what you want, but what you want and what you feel might not be this. I don't feel like working out. I don't feel like being emotional. I don't feel like dealing with my issues. I don't feel like being corrected. I don't feel like being called out. Come on. It's time to do better. And for the ones that want to, you will, but you got to want it bad enough. Because I'm telling you, it's not easy. You got to want it bad enough. You got to stay consistent. You got to stay committed. You will create the future you want for yourself. I guarantee you will create the future that you want for yourself. We live in a world full of individuals that have covetous thoughts. And what this means is to desire the possessions of other people. We see on social media, oh, they look so happy. They look so successful. They traveling. They living their best life. They got all these friends. They got these nice cars, this nice home, without even realizing what they went through to get that or what they're going through. Some people got loans. Some people got debts. All them friends you see on their social media, don't really care about them. Ain't nobody there for them when they going through. They're only there when it's time for to turn up. You feel me? They're only there when it's time to go out of town because it looks good for the gram. It looks good to the people. It looks good to the world. No one knows they're getting cheated on. No one knows they're verbally and they're emotionally getting abused, but they look good. They look good. They look beautiful together. They always loving on each other. Why I can't have it? Why somebody won't put me on their social media? Why somebody won't love on me? You feel me? And it blinds our view. It blinds us from the focus of our own life and what's meant for us. Stop desiring what other people have and start desiring what's meant for you to have, because it's something big and it's something amazing. It's probably better than what they got. It is better than what they got, because the difference is it's going to be for you and it's going to be made for you. Wow. It's time to put in the work, ladies and gentlemen. Kings and queens, royalty. Come on, royalty. What is the purpose of a king and queen? The king and queen job is to influence, to guide, to create laws, to build, to create generational wealth, right? That's what kings and queens do, because even when it's passed down through family, that wealth will always be there. And that's our purpose. I love the fact that I influence you guys, but I know for a fact I'm not the only one that should be doing this. It's so many of you guys have books that you've yet to start. Why haven't you started? Write the first page. Create the title, something small. It's so many of you guys that should be having a podcast. There's so many of you guys that should be creating content. There's so many of you guys that are meant to lead. And the only thing that's holding you back is you. And you got to figure out for you why. Why continue to procrastinate on the life that you truly want for something that's temporary? Why continue to show that person attention and love when you know you want more, you want better? Because a lot of you all don't believe that you deserve it, because no one in your circle, in your environment, no one that you've been exposed to haven't reached it yet. Be the first one. You are meant to lead. We are meant to lead. So put in the work and let's make it happen. I love you guys so much. I appreciate you. I appreciate your life. I appreciate your presence. And I appreciate your gifts, whether you know what they are right now or you don't yet. But it's time to put in the work. It's time to walk into purpose. It's time to walk in your gift. There are souls waiting on you. There are people that are waiting to hear your story, including me. It's time to face it so that you can fix it. It's time to go into surgery. We have to understand you cannot become what you need to become by staying where you are. You got to pick one, and it's going to be worth every bit of it. It's going to be worth that transition. It's going to be worth the healing, regardless of how hard it gets sometimes. Much love to you guys. I hope that you all got something out of this podcast on today. I'm looking forward to continue to grow and to hear your stories and to inspire you and to see you guys up and at it and prospering and doing what it is that you need to do to create a better life for yourself. It literally puts a smile on my face when I get on my social media or when I see you all and I see you working out. I know that's something that may be new. You probably don't do it often. To see you spreading knowledge, to see you gardening, doing music, doing photography, videography, podcasting, creating a YouTube channel, creating stories, sharing your stories, being your authentic self. I love to see it. Keep up the good work. Let's get it, ladies and gentlemen, because it's time. It is time. I cherish you all. Peace, love, and blessings.